Chelsea Football Club are moving mad. Chelsea Football Club have decided that it's time to be aggressive in getting players out. Well, it looks like Noni here we go for £52 million to Arsenal was done. And the next person to go, Nicholas Jackson. Fabrizio Romano says he's expected to leave this summer. We're going to talk about that. Furthermore, Joao Felix. We know what Benfica have bid for Joao Felix and they only want to buy 65% of him. I'm going to explain to you how that works and why it's very similar to what Porto did with Samuel Marodion at Atletico Madrid. Furthermore, keeping up with Strasbourg, because you know, keeping up with the Kardashians enough, we need to keep up with Strasbourg. What's going on? It looks like Chelsea have been doing a little bit of funny stuff again. Amugu's going there on a permanent. Penders is going on loan, and we find out why Penders is going on loan, because Jurgensen, my friend, apparently you told him to do one. I'm going to explain to you what's going on. We're going to break down the stories in good detail. You're going to enjoy it, but before we get started, number one, hit that like button. 1,000 likes on this video tells YouTube you like what you see, other people should like what you see, and helps the Kavkas View grow. And I greatly appreciate that. Secondly, subscribe to the channel. It's the best way you can actually support the channel. It literally makes me have more subscribers. People see and go, oh, it's a big channel, maybe I should subscribe. Instead of actually listening to me and go, oh, he delivers great content on a consistent basis. Because that's what your comments say. And I appreciate that greatly. Let's get started. Nicholas Jackson. This is going to be a difficult video to make, purely based on the fact that I've been saying Nicholas is going to be leaving Chelsea for a while. I've been saying it. I said if they could get rid of him, do it. And my relationship with Nicholas Jackson was like this, and then it deteriorated. Why? I'll give you the timeline. We signed him. I said, who is he? There was the whole joke about, sorry, Miss Jackson, how does it feel? And I was like, hey, interesting. I don't know nothing about, genuinely never heard of Nicholas Jackson until we signed of him. And then saw pre-season. I was like, oh, this guy looks promising. And as the season started under Pochettino, Jackson developed in front of our eyes. He was very raw. He was making mistakes. We all knew he was going to be a prospect for the years to come. He done well. Half a season where he banged a lot of his goals. The numbers looked great in the sense that 14 non-penalty goals is amazing. The second season starts and he starts like a man on fire. Genuinely. Until November, right? Until that Everton game, that's when it all changed. He was unreal. Like he was scoring goals for fun, he was linking up play, and people were saying, including myself, we might have found a striker that we're very proud of. Everybody was saying that. And then something happened. I don't know what it is, something clicked. It went the opposite way. Jackson didn't score for like 13 games. Jackson went back to being the initial player that we signed. Rash, raw, overthinking stuff, no left foot, panicked. And then he got his red card against Newcastle, comes back with an apology, scores a goal that hits his chest and goes in when he tried to header it, which is wild. And then he gets sent off against Flamengo. Chelsea have got Liam Delap, Joao Pedro, and Fabrizio comes out with this. Chelsea Football Club are expected to sell Jackson this summer. AC Milan are dreaming about the target. However, it is a difficult deal to do because he's cost a lot. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to tell you for free. Jackson ends up at Aston Villa. You're going to say, why? Emery's there. He's spoken about how much of an influence Emery's had on him. Emery likes him. Aston Villa need a striker to replace John Duran when they let him go. It makes sense. They didn't keep Asensio. They didn't keep Rashford. They've got some money for Europa League. Jackson for £50 million makes sense. And for me, this is interesting because now we are thinking outside of the box. Why are we doing this? We're doing this because we've got Joao Pedro and we've got Liam Delap. It also puts us in a position now where Chelsea clearly have given up on it. Whether it's the club, whether it's the owner, whether it's Maresca, somebody's given up on him and they're ready to let him go. And for me, this is the correct decision to do. We're going to get more details. I'm going to tell you that. But this is the correct decision. You've got Delap, you've got Joao Pedro, you go with them. Schmeichel can be the third choice, the way Guiu was last year, played EPL 2 minutes, but in his free time, and he'll just develop naturally. We don't need Jackson as a third choice striker. It's overkill. Take the 50 million before his transfer value drops. Noni to Arsenal, here we go. Look, it's done. It's achieved. We finally understand what the number is. David Ornstein says it's £52 million, and that's including the add-ons within it. We don't know what the deal breakdown is. Arsenal fans are saying one thing, journalists are going to say one thing, Chelsea fans will say another thing. What we don't need to speculate about, it's that it's £52 million. Noni Madueke will not be playing for Chelsea Football Club anymore. He misses the final. But the big thing here is, this is an awful lot of money. Look, we got him for £29 million. Now we're selling them for £52 million. This is great business. We literally make profit, bring Estevao in. Estevao could kick on and be the backup right winger for next year while you have Neto. This is the type of business that Blue Coat aim to do. You develop someone, it looks like he's not going to be someone that starts for you, you move him on. And I think this is responsible. This is a great move for Arsenal. This is a great move for Chelsea. It's not a great move for Noni. I've said this consistently. The Arsenal fans are furious. Look, Arsenal have got backup for Saka and they've got a starting left winger, right? So for them, this is who they wanted. They targeted him, they got him. For Noni, I question this move massively. Bro, you're not going to play behind Saka. That's your best position. That's where, in my opinion, he can make a great career for himself. You're going to go and you're going to play left wing and it's not going to work. I've got this little suspicion. Bukayo Saka's got 2 years left on his deal. Maybe this is the Saka replacement a year early. Maybe Saka doesn't sign a new deal and maybe Saka goes somewhere else. Maybe if they don't win a league title, Saka decides to leave. But oi, I don't want to do that. I don't want to stir that pot. You know, they'll get a little bit sensitive if I talk about that. Because it's very interesting. Bukayo Saka's contract expires in June 2027 and they've basically signed his replacement if he ever leaves. Simple as that. Speaking of exits, Joao Felix. Joao Felix is reported to Cobham. However, it looks like it's going to be short-lived. He's going to be leaving. Reports in Portugal on numerous sources from CNN to Bola to all of their little broadcasts that talk about it, that we read it about and then we either criticize if we don't like the news or we set praise if we like the news record. They're saying Joao Felix is set to join Benfica. We've heard Joao Felix talk about it. He said it basically would be one of his choices if he was getting the opportunity to go anywhere. But this is where it gets very interesting for me. They're not buying 100% of Joao Felix. They can't afford it. Essentially, his wages are too high. I think he makes somewhere around 67 million euros a year. The highest they're willing to pay is 4 million. And he's going to most probably have to take a cut. But they're trying to find a little solution where they pay X amount for him and they give Chelsea a fat sell-on clause. So what's going on here? According to CNN in Portugal, it's 25 million euros plus Chelsea get to have a 35 million sell-on clause. For me, it makes sense. Just get it done. Look, take a little loss. You just made a huge profit on Noni. Let the player go. Let him play. If Joao Felix goes and becomes the Joao Felix that he's meant to in the Portuguese league, someone's going to go and take an opportunity on Joao. It's as simple as that. Somebody will take an opportunity and you're going to make the money back that you didn't make back. You know, it's going to be like that because 35% is huge. It's as simple as, right, if someone pays 100 million for him, you get 35 million. Like, it is a big chunk of any future transfer. Plus, you get guaranteed 25 million right now and you get him off the book. You don't need to worry about him. You don't need to deal with Mendes. It's one of those situations. Unless Mendes helps us get one of his other clients as a favor because this deal is going through. It's just one of those things. It didn't work out for Joao. He needs to go back somewhere where he's going to be loved and adored. And that's going to be in Portugal, in my opinion. Let me know in the comments below. Matias Amugu. Do you guys know who that is, firstly? Because the reality is, if a lot of you don't know who that is, I don't blame you. He's played 22 minutes at Chelsea. He joined last summer. I think it was for 13 million euros. And a lot of people said, what were you doing? And within 22 minutes, I remember I came on it and I said, this kid is not ready. And a lot of the comments cooked me. I'm never going to forget. We were 4-0 up or 3-0 up. And I said, this kid is not of the level. What did we do? He looks nervous, rusty touch, no pressure on the ball. The ball's going behind him. He just did not look cut out for this level. Like, I compared him to Raksaki. I compared him to Keanu Dyer. I compared him to Walsh. Kid just looked off the pace. And a lot of people said, you're being harsh. This is a young kid. How would you feel if people did this to you? And I remember saying, listen, let's see if he plays. Well, now it's come out. He's sold. Yes, Fabrizio Romano said Chelsea have sold him. First, it broke out through French outlets. And then Fab jumped on it and gave it the stamp, the final stamp. He's signing a 5-year deal. It's a permanent, so it's not a loan spot. Chelsea have a buyback if he becomes good. And Chelsea fans are having a meltdown. I'm going to explain to you what happened, in my opinion. And my opinion actually makes really good sense on this. So please stick with me. Strasbourg wanted to buy him. Strasbourg thought he was talented. The scouts there thought he could add value to them. And what was going on there was Saint Etienne wanted the money up front. They didn't want none of his loan, you pay us late. Strasbourg didn't have it. And how we know Strasbourg didn't have that money is because what happened with Barco. For those of you that don't know, the left back that played for Brighton, Barco, joined Strasbourg on loan with an obligation to buy for 9 million late. And now they've paid him. Since then, what's happened? They sold Diarra. Habib Diarra went for, I think it's £30 million. Now they've got the money. They're using it on Amugu, who they wanted, and Barco's paid off. You need to remember, Strasbourg is going to be operating more like a business than Chelsea. They're literally going to try balance the books. They're going to sell a few players high and then buy like 8, 9 players young. And then whoever sticks, develops them. They get into the Europa League. They'll attract more players. They're literally going to be bright. That's how they want to operate that club. And I think this makes logical sense. And Amugu was never meant to be at Chelsea. It's just the signing that Chelsea made as a favour to make sure that the talent doesn't go elsewhere. The final bit of the story is a very interesting one, right? Penders, we know, is going on loan to Strasbourg. I think it's a brilliant deal. I think he gets to go and play, and it's exactly what he needs. He gets to literally acclimatize himself into the men's game from the Belgian league to the French league. Now what's going on? The truth has come out. And it's very interesting that L'Equipe is saying Philippe Jurgensen was meant to be the one that goes. But Philippe Jurgensen refused to go. He refused to go, wanted to stay at Chelsea, wanted to fight for a spot, and believes he's most probably better than Robert Sanchez. And this is funny for me because this is the end of Philippe Jurgensen's career at Chelsea. And I'm going to explain to you why. Because the minute he joined Chelsea, he had a ticking time bomb to make it as the number one, in my opinion. If he didn't make it in a certain period, he was always going to be viewed as an afterthought. Because Rob Sanchez was ahead of him. He saw Petrovic went on loan, smashed it, and now he's going to get a Premier League move to Bournemouth for £25 million and didn't even get a look in. After that time, Jurgensen decided, hold on, I'm not going on loan because I'm not repeating the same mistakes. I'd rather stay here and fight for my position. But what he didn't realize is they don't want you. And that's the peak thing here. They don't believe he's good enough. Otherwise, they wouldn't want to loan him. Because Sanchez isn't good enough of a keeper where we make, where we go, oh, you're not going to get in front of him. But they still haven't considered him. The one opportunity he got, he made the mistake against Aston Villa. I'm convinced if he doesn't make that mistake against Aston Villa, we get a draw. He goes on till the end of the season as our number one. There's a very good likelihood that we don't get a new goalkeeper. He will be our goalkeeper moving forward. But he made that mistake and they quickly took him out and put Rob back in. And for me, it's just one of those things at that point. Your time at Chelsea's up. They asked you to go on loan. You said no. They're going to remember that. It's the way the world works. Sadly, you're going to have to pay for your decisions. And it's unfair that Chelsea wanted him to go to Strasbourg because I'm telling you right now, he's young. He's got his girlfriend most probably that wants to live in London. She's most probably likes London. And what you want him to uproot his family and move somewhere else when he just moved 12 months ago. It's difficult, guys. And I think people don't understand that, It is what it is. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, let me know your thoughts. Peace out, I'm out.